Okay, so what is international human resource management? It is the process of procuring, allocating, and effectively utilizing the human resources in a multinational corporation. Nestle, for example, has what they call the Nestle in the market approach, and this ensures that their HR operates at its highest efficiency at all times. And it's based off of 3 different areas. The first being specialized services or centers of expertise. The second, HR strategies tied to a certain business or business partners. And the third, transactional activities or employee services. So how do these two differ? Well, there are some common areas between human resource management and international HRM, but the main difference is that HRM deals with employees inside the country's own borders only. International HRM deals with 3 different areas. First is parent country nationals, and that is where the country that the headquarters is located in. The second, host country nationals, or a foreign subsidiary. And the third is third country nationals, and this may be where they source their labor, finances, or even research and development. So what is the most challenging part of international human resource management? We feel it is because there are many more factors to deal with than with domestic HRM. HR executives must understand all aspects when working with a particular country. When an employee from the company takes up a foreign assignment, for example, the HR executive must be able to smoothly transition the employee to that country without any problems.
Let us assume that we want to start a subsidiary in the Netherlands. We have to consider the primary languages spoken there. The set language in the Netherlands is Dutch. The rest of the population speaks English and German, and very few people speak French and Spanish. The Netherlands is also a strong egalitarian country, meaning they have a small power distance, meaning that they can easily speak with their superiors, and they believe in equality and that everybody should be treated fairly. They're a high indulgent and collectivist country. People care more about small social groups. They value privacy, self-reliance, and emotional independence. Yet when it comes to major decisions, they like to collectively make important decisions. They're low uncertainty and avoidance. It means that society feels threatened by uncertain and ambiguous situations. So they provide greater career stability, establish more formal roles, and not believing in absolute truth and attainment of expertise. They are also a feminine and indulgent country. Their dominant values are caring for others, and they're also an indulgent country, meaning that they like to celebrate their life's achievements and accomplishments. Their HR policies are also reflect very strongly on their cultural values, meaning that they care about the well-being of their people, and employees are also seen as stakeholders in firms. General agreement is that employees' needs should, at least to some extent, be taken into consideration, and as mentioned previously, they are a collectivist country, so they collectively bargain, and it is encouraged for employees to give their opinion in the work environment. When it comes to legislature, they are in charge of protecting their employees' high and set wages, health and safety, well-being, and job security. Some of the HR functions and strategies of each company in the Netherlands are employment ownership, information sharing, participation, self-management teams, and long-term oriented.
So how can we modify our HR policies? First thing we need to recognize is our staffing, HR development, and rewards. First of all, staffing is the selection and training of individuals for specific job functions and charging them with associated responsibilities. In order to execute that task, we need to acknowledge the power distance of Netherlands, which is a feminine country. And by feminine country, that means we need to take consideration of their values, such as their quality of life, as opposed to our values, which are assertiveness, money, and power. Another thing we would need to take consideration is HR development. We will need to upgrade the skills of our professionals and managers by educating them. Earlier we mentioned that the official language in Netherlands is Dutch. So in order to be more efficient in starting up our subsidiary at Netherlands, we would need to educate our managers and professionals in learning how to speak Dutch, which could be by online class or classroom setting. Lastly, we would need to acknowledge rewards. In Netherlands, the companies would reward their managers for hiring women and ethnic minorities. In the U.S., we should celebrate minorities by recognizing them, as well as providing opportunities such as promotions or surveys for all employees to see where they feel happy in the company.
Multinational corporations consist of three kinds of employees: parent country nationals, host country nationals, and third country nationals. I'm going to talk about all three of them briefly here. Some advantages of parent country nationals are that they have knowledge of the firm. So what's likely to happen is that they've already received training, they've already gone to seminars, they've already likely worked with your firm for quite some time. So when they go overseas, they already know your company. So they're going to be going over there and spreading through word of mouth the issues of the company, the way your company likes to be run, the way the firm's culture is, and all of the issues relating to that. Another advantage could be that they groom executives for top management overseas. So when you send your current management overseas, they can train the people from the other country how to become management in your country. They can give them those training tips that they received here when they go over there. Some disadvantages of parent country nationals is that they're very expensive to maintain. I mean, you can imagine how expensive it would be to relocate an employee. You have to pay for their travel costs, you have to pay for their housing, you have to pay for retraining, you have to send their whole family over. Another disadvantage could be that they're unfamiliar with the foreign environment. It could be that they've never even been to the country that they're going to. So when they're going to this new country, they might have to relearn the whole language, in this case Dutch. What if they've never spoken to anybody? Another disadvantage could be that your best people will not want the assignment. Think about it. If your employee or your manager is doing really well here, why would he want to take an assignment overseas to a different country, disrupt his entire lifestyle, everything is going well? So what's going to happen is your best people are not going to take the assignment, and you're only going to have the middle and lower runs of your managers take these assignments. Some advantages of host country nationals. They're going to be familiar with the local environment. It's quite likely that they grew up there, they went to school there, they've worked there for quite some time. They're going to know some of the local business norms. Sometimes there's written laws and unwritten laws, and the knowledge of those unwritten laws could kind of help smooth things along, move paperwork faster through government, make things less expensive for you and less of a hassle. Another advantage could be that they can be productive right away without the adjustment time needed. They're already living there, their family goes to school there, they're already adjusted and settled there, so when you hire them, they can get going right away. Some disadvantages of host country nationals is that their loyalty may be to their home country rather than to the firm. You're unfamiliar with the employees. You haven't had any experience with them. There's no comfort. There's no background checks that you can kind of get familiar with them. These employees are quite likely going to be unfamiliar with your firm. This is probably going to be the first time they have exposure to your firm, since they've never heard of you and this is the first time you're establishing yourself there. Another disadvantage could be it's going to be very difficult to find qualified people for your company to fit in right away. So you're going to have to adjust the job to the people rather than you're going to have to adjust the people to the job rather than adjusting the people to the job. Some issues relating to third country nationals. Sometimes the parent country doesn't have good relations with the host country, so this could cause some difficulties in getting the people from the other country to the host country and to get them started right away. Some managers may fail to fit in because of emotional immaturity, is what that slide should say. Difficulty of family to adjust to new country. These employees are going to have to bring their whole families along with their kids and sometimes even mother-in-laws and father-in-laws. So it's going to be difficult for them to adjust to a completely new country when they've been comfortable with where they've been living.
Now I'm going to be talking about managers managing PCN, HCN, and TCN. Managers must coordinate policies and procedures to manage from the firm's home country as well as subsidiaries around the world in shaping international compensation and reward systems. Also, HR managers can choose the best candidate to assign to overseas operations, whether the people are PCNs, HCNs, or TCNs. It is widely accepted that MNCs need to strategically use their human resources to support broader organizational goals. MNC's HR managers must staff their international business operations with personnel who are technically competent, culturally proficient, and cost-effective.
Hello, my name is Tony Ho, and I will discuss expatriation, inpatriation, and repatriation. The definition of expatriation is the process of transferring an individual from the corporation's headquarters to a country where the corporation has a subsidiary. Here are the ways to improve inpatriation. So you've got to train managers to be flexible, work with them, be open-minded due to differences, and maintain strong communication and relationship. Okay, also, you could implement programs for adjustment and support for inpatriates. And also, you can maintain positive relationship, which can increase their loyalty and trust within the managers. Repatriation. The definition of repatriation is the process of returning those expats back home. Here are ways to improve repatriation. Okay, these are ways to improve repatriation. First, you gotta continue to communicate with the repatriates about problems or any concerns that they might have. And then by communicating with them, you could form a mutual agreement between the company and those expatriates. Also,